over, and you also saw the model a few times that I've built. So
unbelievable. That is a gift. That is so awesome.
So for you guys down in Connecticut, like I hinted earlier, Collin is a good buddy of mine from Indianapolis, Indiana. Stayed with me a few times. I've met him in numerous touring bands now. He also is really good at making tacos, or at least selling them to me.
Yeah, I don't make them because I don't want to touch meat and stuff, but they hook me up with free veggie tacos and they pay me absurdly well. So
he also has some of the funniest tour stories I've ever heard. And then Johnny is actually a member of the very first band I ever saw live, and now a member of Keep Flying, which is another just wholesome ska band that I thought I might have sent you a couple of links. I guess I may have not, but you've probably seen me post some of their stuff in the past, or at least the past 3 weeks or so. So,
but what is ska?
I'm gonna kick you in the face.
That means you would have to come down here for that. But what is ska?
Ska is all right.
We should probably start the podcast before you answer that question, because that's what you always ask
We're
us. We're
already live streaming, so
okay.
Perfect.
I'm gonna hit record, and then John's gonna do the intro because this is his trio to host. So John's
let me get. We were on YouTube already going.
Yep.
Cool.
I called it John Loves Ska.
You spelled my name wrong though.
Did you put a question mark on ska?
God, I hate you.
Just talking about this John, the new John.
You're such a butt. Anyway.
I mean, I have one, and so do you.
Okay, you ready, John?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wait.
One last vape.
Well, I'm already recording, but that's fine. I can cut shit out. So
we'll edit this in post if we ever get to post.
As long as it's not the full 6 minutes I had to cut out before I posted the Ancient Aliens episode.
I'm good to go.
Chuffing that mad cotton, yo. All right, ready?
No, let's go.
Cool. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and he folk, they folk, she folk, to this week's episode of the 3-episode podcast. We have a very awesome group of guests tonight on top of our usual crowd. I'm just going to go kind of in a fun order. Joined with me tonight via Zoom is my good friend Justin.
Hello, everyone.
His younger, wiser friend Steven.
Fuck you, John.
Wait, younger? I'm older than he is.
I didn't know that. I was making an assumption. Some dude that we picked up named Ryan.
Hello. I don't know how I got into the Zoom call, but I appreciate it.
A very sweet human being with purple hair named Val.
Hi, John.
And other people, but it's not just me. And I have two really awesome human beings here. First and foremost, right next to me on this side of the Zoom call, or actually above me on the live stream, is Collin from Indianapolis.
Hello.
And directly below me is Johnny. And you're down in New York, I believe, right?
Yeah, on Long Island, baby.
All right. So we have started the last couple of episodes with what is X genre? And I've asked these guys this. And now they wanted to start the episode with asking me what is...
Because you made this up. I swear to God, you made this up.
If I made this up, then Andy Samberg on Brooklyn Nine-Nine will never turn his back on something that I made up, and I should be getting royalties for it, and I'm still living in a tiny apartment in Boston.
Well, that's
well, it just means your lawyer is shit. That doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah.
The simplest definition, without getting into the technical terms and the history, is ska music is pop punk or hardcore music or rock anthems with a brass section or with horns. That's the simplest way I describe it to people, and it's the way that people relate to it. There's a lot of history that it developed from reggae, and then there's some other minor music genres and bigger genres that merged and all that. But I mean, to me, simplest way, it's punk music with horns in it. And y'all are familiar with the song Superman because you guys, a couple of you recommended the remake of Tony Hawk, so you're familiar.
Excellent.
Nope.
God, I hate you, Steve.
It's fine, but still, I haven't played the
Guys, Flat
remake.
Earth.
Anyway, I was thinking we'd go ahead and just start out with our two guests, just kind of get a little bit of their backstory, hear what they're all about right now. And since I introduced Collin first, I was actually going to do Johnny first, let him tell his shtick and what he's up to and all the fun things that he's done in his life.
Yeah, sure. So it's pretty much been all about music for me since I was a teen. Going to shows of all caliber and genre was definitely my escape from all the issues going on with my own life and you know, whatever was around me and figuring out my place in the world. But just kind of pressing the fast forward button, my band teacher told me that I could play bari sax instead of drums because I was bored. And then I was drumming for a band, local band, and then I was bored, so I joined a band up front playing sax, and that was it. That was history. I went to school, Five Towns Music College for music business, and then a band from Connecticut, the shirt you're wearing, Flaming Tsunamis, asked me to join their band as part of the new horn section because they lost their trombone and trumpet player. So me and a friend from Long Island both joined, and then it just kind of went from there. That band I went on till we broke up in 2008. I joined a band in Detroit playing sax as well called We Are the Union. I left that band in 2009. 2009, I was kind of pushed in a way that I felt I was going to move on from performing in bands, and then I spent the next all of these years getting into the business of music. So I started working for bands, whether it was merchandise or eventually leading up to tour management, which is what I currently do full time. And then a couple years ago, some friends of mine's band was breaking up and they approached me about here's some songs, and there's more to that story. But the short of it is I went to the studio to just record, and then I fell in love with the 4 songs, and then that's Keep Flying. And here we are. And now I don't want to say I regressed or went backwards, but the last 4 years I've figured out how to work in the industry and also play in the industry. And I'm glad I did, because I've gotten to do some really incredible tours with my current band that I would have probably never done had I just stayed with just working. And yeah, moving forward post COVID, I think that I will have my hand in even more pots. I'll be working for a few more festivals that I work for a couple festivals already, but I think I'm going to do a few more of those once those can resume, because I really like the festival work. I like being in one place, as well as still tour managing for a couple national acts, doing the Keep Flying stuff as much as we can, and also working on continuing to regrow the scene here on Long Island. We just lost one of our venues.
It was the Amityville, right?
We lost Revolution,
Yeah.
which is also in Amityville. We still have Amityville Music Hall, but we got to hope to keep that afloat. And yeah, the plan is to help keep that going, hopefully. So a lot on my plate, all of it's music. I will say that it has been nice taking a break for the first time in my life ever from all of that. This is the longest break I've ever had, and it's honestly, for me, been a positive thing. I know we all had the negatives of this and the depression from it, but like I have gotten over that hump now, and you know, I'm really happy that, well, not that hundreds of thousands of people have died, but I'm happy to have had this break to realize a lot of things that I think I needed to take a break and realize. So yeah, that's the path. And it all started with my band teacher telling me to not play the drums and play the Barry saxophone. So here we are now.
Very cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, before we hit our usual question round, let's hear Colin's story. Just that way we get to hear both sides, or really at least half of the country or a quarter of the country, or we want to split it.
Sure. I am originally from Chicago. I
Woo!
started taking guitar lessons when I was like 11-ish, and I absolutely hated it. Like I did not like the whole, like, I mean, I get it, yeah, scales are important and stuff, but I don't want to learn Twinkle Twinkle. I wanted to learn Green Day and stuff. So I quit those and started teaching myself. And then I started when I moved here to Indianapolis, I started going to punk rock shows at a little church basement called the ES Jungle, and a couple other venues, the Dojo, stuff like that. Started going to punk rock shows, and I think the first show I ever saw in Indy, like in that basement, might have been Mustard Plug, which was a very, very, it blew 13-year-old me's mind.
And you're only 19 now, so
Right, so
Mustard
6
Plug?
years ago.
yeah.
Mustard Plug, yeah. So I decided, like, I'm like, this is fun, this is awesome, I want people to like freak out about me like that. So I wanted to get on that stage, and so I did. And I started playing a bunch of like just old early 2000s like pop punk covers and songs that might as well have been covers because I was not creative at all at that time. So I was playing like SR-71 and Sum 41 and basically every number band songs. But then, yeah, I played with and worked with a handful of bands. I really started like officially kind of taking off, not even really, but like I started like making that a bigger priority in like 2012-ish, 13-ish. I almost got kicked out of college because I was not showing up. I did Warped Tour and stuff a couple times. I then began to manage. I was a tour manager for a band called Reverse Order, and I believe they were finalists on America's Got Talent in like 2013. And that tour lasted it was one tour, and it lasted, I think, like 4 or 5 months. And it was a rough one. Because it was unlike any tour I'd ever done before. Because they had just been on TV, they had like some clout going. The tour was a big anti-bullying tour, so we would go basically in the mornings. We would get up at like 6 and then hit a bunch of schools in wherever we were at the time, and we would go we had a whole subs and PA set up, so it was loading gear in and out of these schools. Sometimes we would hit like 4 or 5 schools a day. We'd hit all these schools, play some songs, do a anti-bullying spiel, play some more songs, and then be done, pack it up, move to the next school. And then in the evenings, we would play an actual show in that area. So even though that like 6 months or 5 months is already a really long tour, but when you're doing like 6 shows a day, it felt like that one tour lasted for like 4 years. So it was a really, really long one. And by the end of that one, Henry from Keep Flying actually hit me up, and they were like, hey, do you want to come play bass with us on this Canada tour? And so I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I hadn't known them for very long at that point, but yeah, that on that tour, I think I met you for the first time on that tour because
that was the first time you met me in person. You guys played the Space in Hamden, and then you crashed at my place,
right.
Which I, from my background of things, I always wanted to give the band the best possible whatever I could, which is, I mean, there's some jokes that were long-standing jokes with some of the other members. Like, I always kept a bag of grapes with me because they would show me that fucking duck song every single time.
Yeah,
the duck song. Hey, got any grapes? So I'd just be like, yes, I do this time. And I would just throw the bag at somebody.
There you go. Love it. But yeah, so I did the Canada tour with them, then did an East Coast tour with them and stuff. And then I remember on one of those tours, my legs had gotten so bad that like I went to the doctor, and I guess I had shin splints so bad that the doctor's like, I can't believe you're walking right now. Like one wrong step and your shin could basically just like pop and snap. And so I was not having fun on one of those tours, and the guys could see it. And it wasn't because I didn't like playing. It was just because I was in miserable amount of pain. So did that. And then I started playing with my current band the day after, and I've been with them since. And it's been fun. This last year we went and got to perform on a show called Sounds of the Underground on CBS or NBC, and our episode, we were featured alongside Mest, which is one of my favorite bands from growing up. They ruled. Alisana, for anyone who remembers them. But yeah, it was fun. I think Frank from MCR was on another episode. August Burns Red was on an episode. So that was a fun time. But since then, I just haven't been doing much, toured as much as we could have until this year. And now here we is.
Here we is. So I like to open it up to the other people around me. You know, you guys had some fun questions last week, so I figure you're going to have some this week. So it's not just me talking to two of my buddies, and four beautiful people as well are just chatting, you know, in the background or looking at me doing this. So
True.
Right.
I guess my first question goes to Collin.
Yes.
So I take it you're going to get the PS5?
If somebody wants to give me some money for it, I just moved into like a place that's right next to my work, which is convenient. So I'm not driving, but it's still way more expensive than anywhere else I've lived. So I might get one after it's calmed down a bit. Yeah, I moved. I'm not right in downtown Indy anymore. I'm about 20 minutes north of there. So still very close, but
What the?
yeah. There's a whole thing. I'll tell you about it soon, Johnny.
Oh
No.
boy, I hate to hear that.
But I brought the candles with me, so everything's
Oh,
okay.
that's good news.
Yeah, I brought
Candles,
candles and
Candle.
Bella's over here somewhere, so everything's all good.
the goodest dog, absolute goodest dog. There she is.
Hey, be
She's-
quiet.
No, she can be on the
On cue.
podcast. My dog is on the podcast at least a few times. My
Hey,
cat is
Yeah,
currently
but you were-
snuggling up.
Come here.
Noelle wasn't on the podcast barking most of the time, but Noelle was on the podcast when you were like petting her
And
you just heard
jingling.
the
Yeah, you're
jingle.
right.
It would just be John talking. You just hear in the background
Jingle, jingle.
Yeah, that's Noelle's contribution, because you know how many times I had to try and edit that out of fucking episodes.
Every single time. It's wonderful. So
All right, yeah, she's
Yeah.
doing her own thing.
anyway,
Anyway,
she's a
yes.
pupper. It's fine.
Yeah, PS5. I mean, I'm not dying to get it. I'll take it. But I
saw the shirt, so I had to ask.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a PlayStation kid, but I'm fine still hanging out with my PS4 for a while until the PS5 gets cheaper.
A lot cheaper.
I'm not part of the whole console wars thing. I like games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should get a
That's-
PC then. But
I do.
So, Justin, just real quick to go off of last week's recommendation, Collin is looking for people to play Among Us with. So we'll link up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yes,
have-
please.
The problem is, Colin, that I have a 6-month-old, so trying to find a night that I have free that I can, because we have we have our own Twitch channel that we used to stream to. So I was thinking of start streaming some games to it. So got to
Okay.
find a time to do that. But yeah, I've been wanting to play Among Us with this group for a while. So
Down.
because
So,
I play it all the time now, and it's ridiculous.
Sweet.
But
So-
I'm also that person who plays it, and I'm like trying to logically tell people things, and then there's this dude that turns around and is like, "Red is sus," and it's like, dude, fuck you. I'm like, I was in electrical doing wiring. I think red is sus. Go fuck yourself.
So
I followed someone, I think, an entire match without doing anything, and I was the last person to die, and they're just like, yellow sus. I'm just like, huh, I am not sus. And everyone believed me. I'm just like, really?
That's funny. Johnny, I love that taker cutout.
that's pretty sick. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Like it's
what,
not even new taker. It's like, how old is that thing?
that's 1999 or early 2000s, it looks
But
like.
like, do you have it from then, or is it a new printing just of that picture?
It's old, baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Oh wow.
what is the kookiest thing that you guys ever did on tour?
Oh Jesus.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Listen, I'm not asking about I'm not asking about Las Vegas. I'm asking about, like, I don't know, maybe they were in Nashville one weekend, or maybe they're out in California getting Del Taco,
Oh God.
or wherever Del Taco's from. I don't even know.
We're not super crazy about. I mean, people think tour is way crazier than it is. Like whenever we're not playing shows, usually we're just kind of chilling or driving, but or getting some trying to find like the best food. But I guess during that long tour, when I was with Reverse Order doing the anti-bullying thing, so we were this anti-bullying band that also, like, we bought so much like ghost hunting equipment for whatever reason, and we did like ghost hunting shit at every place that we were at. And then we went to this improv show where they fortunately picked one of us, and we told them what we were doing and where we were from, and like they compared us to a Hanna-Barbera cartoon because we were the anti-bullying ghost hunting band. So I guess that tour, but nothing really specific.
So were you Shaggy in this?
I suppose I was, yeah.
He's got the dog. He's got the hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I figured Shaggy.
yeah, pretty much.
So is
How
that
did-
why? Is that why you chose to study cryptozoology further, so people would take you seriously?
No, just because I wanted something to do. And it was like, how many people can say that they have a degree in cryptozoology? Like,
Yo,
I
I'm
can
gonna-
do the whole "I know more than you" thing. But I'm currently doing a class. I just haven't had the time to finish it as fast as I did this one, but I'm doing one in ufology, which is the study of UFOs, and I'm about halfway done with that class.
I fucking wish I knew that, because we would have called you up for the last trio too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We just did an aliens trio.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. How did the whole bullying thing start? Like, how did that tour become anti-bullying? Like, how does that even happen?
So, like, it stemmed from like, basically internet hate and stuff. So, like, people hated this band simply because they were on TV. Like, just it's the same reason
Okay.
anybody talks crap about like Katy Perry or something. Like, it's just internet trolls and stuff. And like, this kid wasn't this, like, one of the people in the band wasn't the skinniest person alive, but he wasn't the biggest. But like, people were like calling him fat and stuff, and even though it's just internet trolls, like, it still kind of wounds you. So they kind of turned it into like a positive thing. Like, they started like a nonprofit called Reverse the Trend, which was like to end bullying and stuff like that. So yeah, so it kind of stemmed from that though.
Okay. And
Yeah, that's
so
cool,
they
though.
set up a tour to be anti-bullying, like to be the people that go to the school and talk about.
Right.
That's interesting. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, no,
I
it
thought
was
that was
awesome.
only done. I thought that was only really done in movies.
And Hanna-Barbera. But
Yeah.
And South Park.
And South
yeah,
Park.
true. Pretty much, yeah. We were the assembly band, yeah.
I have a question for the both of you, actually. What is? It's easy. It's probably easy if you talk about, the things, the groups that you're within the genre that you play or are involved in that have influenced you over the years. What's some like out of left field musical influences that you've had either growing up or things that just aren't within the genres that you are in, like your normal wheelhouse, that like really influenced you or like shaped you as a person or a musician? Because like everybody has crazy things out of left field, and I always like to know what those are.
All right,
Jock
just
Jams
keep this
Volume
in the
2.
podcast.
Say it
Jock
again?
Jams Volume 2.
Is that wait, was that the white with the red lettering, volume 2? How
Yeah.
what in my brain just went off that I remembered that?
But yeah, I'll let Johnny go.
All right.
Out of left field, like not in the genre, I can give you 3. Weird Al Yankovic is my
Yes.
favorite artist
Fuck
of all
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Definitely a win.
I was hoping that was gonna come up.
He is my favorite. I've seen him more times than any artist aside from artists that I'm working for. Like I've been seeing him. He was my first show. He'll be my last show. All these drive-in concerts are going on. I told my friends that there is not a single artist that I would go pay this money to sit in a car except Weird Al. I would do that, and I would drive as far as Columbus, Ohio, in order to do it. Weird Al, number 1. Number 2, out of left field, the Village People. Not musically, but the performance and the gimmick. I'm a big fan of gimmicks and the attitude in the music videos. And I got stuck watching old interviews and yeah, just something about that group makes me feel empowered. I don't know why.
They had a lot of
and
good
had a
pageantry.
lot of what?
Pageantry. Village People had
Oh
good
yes, absolutely. And then last but not least, a band that's been around for a really long time, a punk band from the UK called The Addicts. I've always been familiar with their music, but I didn't actually really get into them. This is kind of weird for me being in my mid-30s. I didn't get into them until last year. Like Keep Flying opened for them in Quebec City at a inappropriately sized venue, like way too small. And their live show,
I remember Henry telling me about that show.
I was blown away by the live show. I couldn't stop after I became obsessed, becoming obsessed with a band that has been around for over 30 years, who I didn't really know existed that familiar and that well. Finding out now, like feeling like I missed out on all these years, like totally missed out. That's like my new one. Again, music, that band though, musically and performance wise, they put on a freaking show. The singer, Monkey, he goes by, puts on a show. If you just YouTube any The Addicts old live show, you'll understand what I mean. It's theatrics, it's costuming, it's props, it's running around, it's magic tricks, it's unreal.
It's like the Aquabats.
Right up my, huh?
It kind of like everything you're describing right now just makes me think the Aquabats.
So take that and make it more, tuned to older people. Like tuned to standard punkers, I love the Aquabats. This is my first tattoo ever is the bat on my forearm. But that's within our genre, like they also put out some great music. I love them musically.
And you've worked in a few genres basically, so you've got some options there.
Yes. Those 3 are not within the realm. I think that those are 3 for me. So I'll pass the torch to Collin now.
Sure. Yeah. I actually worked merch for Weird Al one time. It was really, really nice.
Just peeling back layers with both of you.
That is awesome.
I will say he had bobbleheads that he made me charge like $50 a piece for, and now is like, but yeah, I get it. We sold out of them. Like,
God damn.
Yeah.
And buy it.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I don't know, just. So I wasn't lying. Jock Jams Volume 2 was super influential to me, just like that party style.
Hell yeah.
Disney in general, anything Alan Menken, like I absolutely love. Like no songs ever make me like feel like crying, but Disney songs pretty much.
That's just me watching Tangled at this point, but
right. Yeah. And then another out of left field.
He didn't have to go that hard on that song, but he did. He did that for us.
That was Elton John though, dude. But yeah, no, that's my all-time favorite movie is The Lion King.
Win.
But then another, I guess, kind of opposite of those ones. It's not really our genre, but and I don't even really listen to them that much, but as far as presence goes, the Chariot is just an amazing band to watch. Like, I saw them at Haste the Day's farewell show for the first time, and oh my god, they like it blew my mind. Like musically, I'm not super into it. It's fine. I will never really just put the Chariot on in the car. It was always one of those live things for me. But like it was basically like chug, chug, throw, catch, chug. Like it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen was watching the Chariot. It's incredible. And then we played with like 68 and stuff a couple times, but it's still not the Chariot. But yeah, so I guess Jock Jams, Disney, and the Chariot.
You know what that reminds me of? There was one video that I was obsessed with when I was in high school, and it was the Pop Roach video where he twirls the guitar. I always fucking love like that video. I love that video specifically because he did that. I don't remember which song
the bass.
was that.
One, it was a bass.
Whatever. Yes. Sorry. I apologize.
Ryan's the Papa Roach expert here. So.
I'm not the Papa Roach expert. Don't ever put me in that box.
I haven't listened to them in a long time. I don't remember. I just remember them spinning the bass.
I believe that was Last Resort.
Is it?
Yes.
The one.
I don't know if I've ever seen the video for it.
Yeah.
I got out of Papa Roach before YouTube was a thing. So I was never allowed to watch music videos because my mom thought they were for the devil. Well, here I am, Mom. I'm going to hell.
You want to hear
God.
Silly mom? My mom used to, so back before, when you used to be able to like on a tape deck record over tapes, my brother wanted Dookie. And so my mom was not strict, but she was just like, didn't want us to become degenerates, which we did anyways. But
your brother does own a brewery, so
he did, and he actually before that he worked for SJC Drums and like used to live with the owner of that drum. He was meant for music. He's a cool dude. But she took the Dookie tape and she went through the whole fucking album and would record blank on the tape thing over all the swears. And so my brother used to listen to Dookie, and there would be like badly bleeped out parts, but she would like do it for too long. So it was like 5 seconds of a song. And like whenever I think of like, listening to music as a little kid, I always think of, thinking of Dookie and its chopped up version via my mom.
That's awesome.
That's
a lot of
that's amazing.
A lot of effort to put into that.
Yeah,
that's insane.
We're gonna be fucked up little kids, and so she was just trying to do whatever she could to save us.
That's a lot of effort.
So much effort.
You could feel the love in that because she didn't want you to miss out on the music, but she put so much effort to making it safe for you guys to listen to.
And we still turned out to be dicks. So
yeah.
Our mother just smashed things. That's about it.
I remember. Wait, no, I don't.
No.
I don't remember that at all. Please don't come to my house in Boston and get in here.
Well, we were in the car one day and we were listening to Linkin Park.
Oh God, this story.
Yeah, and we were like, "Oh, Mom and Dad, listen to this," and they listened to one song, turned around and was like, "What the fuck is this?" And we can never listen to it again. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
You now have the rarest version of Dookie. It's a
Yeah.
Dookie your mom cut.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't want to know anything about Dookie's her mom cut. Let's just be real here.
It's the mom Dookie.
God.
So, Collin, somebody agrees with you. I'm not going to blast him on our live chat right away, but he agrees that the Chariot is God tier. In his opinion, he loves them. So
Nice.
And Johnny, my buddy Tom Brill, aka the Red Baron, wants you to know that he loves you and he misses you and he says hello.
What a legend.
What a legend. Yeah, he was on the show last week, actually.
Yeah.
I'd love to say great kid, but he's not a kid anymore.
I mean, he is the reason I met you the first
man.
time, so.
Yeah.
You were talking about gimmicks. The very first show where I bought this t-shirt, it was, TFT was headlining the Flaming Tsunamis at this tiny fucking venue in like Milford, Connecticut. And it was, I forget the first two opening acts, but then it was HostageCon, The Fad, and Flaming Tsunamis. HostageCon did their thing, and they came out like mimes, and like, it was terrifying. The Fad was just an awesome ska band from Long Island. And then like Andy and all of the guys in TFT came out as Santa and the Elves.
Oh yes, that was a great run.
It was such a fun, absolute gimmick of a show. And then, man, I just have a lot of fond memories of just punk shows and hardcore shows. And, you get knocked down and like 16 people jump in to pull you back up, which is, it's family. We're all in this together.
Speaking of shows, that was one of my questions. What's your least favorite show you ever did?
This one, the 3-episode podcast, but the first 7 episodes
Well,
we did.
I apologize. We have a really bad host this week, so
Yeah.
They're like the right now that I'm a part.
Fuck that guy in the middle. He's a piece of shit.
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Do you have one, Johnny?
First show I ever played. It's tough because it's not measured in the number of people, at least not for me. So I've played plenty of shows to 0 people or 1 person or 3 people that were just not the worst shows I've ever played, because I've walked off and been like, that was a pretty good set.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing too. Like I can look at the numbers and see how many people that are watching this live stream, but we're still going to give the exact same episode as if we have 100,000 people watching us.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just how I always perform. I actually
Right.
would say the worst show I ever played was with We Are the Union. At the time, we were on a run. I can't remember where we were, but there was just one night where we just didn't lock in, to the point where the drums and the bass were so off from each other. I don't even know what was happening, but it got to the point where I could not play. I physically couldn't play because I was off from everything else. So I just stopped playing. I remember turning around and being like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? I wish I could remember what city I was in, but it was just so long ago. I don't remember. I just remember that after that, like a combo was had that was like, yo, that can't ever happen again. Like this can't ever happen again. Trying to think of something that has more value to it. Let's see. One time, how about the Loft in Poughkeepsie? One time we played the Loft in Poughkeepsie, and that's above the Chance Theater in New York, Poughkeepsie, New York. And like the Loft is the upstairs venue that was like held together by some beams, and the floor was like collapsing, and they had to shut the show down and make everybody leave because they were afraid that it was going to just collapse into the ground below.
In there.
Damn.
Dark.
Wow.
It's legit.
Dark.
No, everything he just said is accurate.
Very dark
Wow.
and sad. Worst show I ever worked. Blood on the Dance Floor at a Legion Hall in Garden City, New York. It was just worst shit. The worst music, the most uncomfortable I've ever felt. And I'm so grateful that their light show went into the neighbors' windows so efficiently that they called the police and got the show shut down, because I just
That's awesome.
I was being paid to work, but I just wanted it to stop. Please, no more.
That Davi Vanity is a real piece of work.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with like the internet with that, but I'm fairly certain that it's bad. Very bad.
He's done a lot of bad things to a lot of people, and I hope karma gets him. That's all I have to say about that.
How about yourself, Collin? What's the worst show you ever?
I'm a pretty optimistic person when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like Johnny said, like I have played plenty of like sometimes you just play a show and it's essentially community band practice. No one shows up, you're playing to the other bands. And so it's fun, especially when it's like just you and like a band you're on tour with and you're playing to the bartender or something, and that's about it. But
well,
like,
I mean, don't take worst as like bad. Maybe just like,
you know, like
show
Johnny
you
said
wish
with
went-
Watu, you know, just there was a show they didn't click for whatever reason, and
yeah,
it
just a
was
show
a bad
you wish
show.
went better, I guess.
so there was one show with Survey actually, and I think it was Tiffin, Ohio Music Fest. And first of all, we were playing at the same time, and like, I'm not even kidding, maybe 40 feet away from Hawthorne Heights on like the big stage. So it was like tent, and then like you could throw a rock at the big stage that is like right next to us. That was drowning us out. So all the punk kids were at our tent, and everyone else was over there. But I love Hawthorne Heights. They're a good friend of our band. But like that day,
I was gonna make the obvious pun, but Indiana is not Ohio, so I can't make the obvious pun. I hate myself for it.
Or you could just do me and just make the joke anyway.
No.
True. But so there was that, but that's not why it was bad. So I don't know what was up, but so during the first song, I was borrowing, I think, that old Stingray that Henry used to bring along on tour. I was playing that, and like first song, the bottom strap button just ripped out of the bass. So I'm like, well, okay, I need something that can be held up. So I borrowed one from the band we were touring with, Lila Ignite, and they lent me theirs, but we were not able to get it to make a sound the entire set. So we couldn't halt the show anymore. We had to just let it keep going. So basically the entire set until the last 30 seconds of the song, I had no sound coming from my bass. And Henry was so pissed. Like,
Happy.
So that's just an air guitar that has a guitar next to it.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
A very expensive air guitar.
Oh, it was brutal. Like Henry, it was just words, but like Henry was like, "I'm gonna send you home." I'm like, okay, but I felt awful. Like, we don't know why it happened or anything, but like, I don't know. That was definitely the worst one. Is
Aliens.
just pretty much a show that I played but didn't play.
Yeah.
So that was rough.
Okay. My other question was, have you guys recorded anything during COVID? And if so, how was it, like, how does that work?
Ooh, start with Collin because he just released an awesome video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give the I know I'm not here to talk about my main band, so
you could talk about anything and everything, but
whatever you want. We get off subject all the time.
Yeah,
okay,
we're basically the tangent podcast.
Okay.
So this is what this episode is about. It's about ska, which no one knows about, and we're talking about everything else.
Okay, great.
Riv like ska. Let's not talk about ska.
So here's the non-ska band. So I'm in a band called The Day After, and it's like heavy punk rock, like heavy pop punk, easy core, whatever you want to call it.
Defend pizza parties.
But at this point, like, so we've been recording, but due to COVID, we can't really get everybody in a room. So it's kind of like 2 people at a time going in to the studio. So that's going on. But I will say anything that people know about what we sound like previously over the last, the band is going to be 12 in December. So anything that we've ever recorded is pretty much not going to sound like what we have recorded now. Like it's like the pop punk thing is completely thrown out the window, which I mean, I it's just all fun. Like no genres, no rules. So that's happening though. We do have some stuff being recorded. Hi, kitty cat. But yeah, so that's being recorded. That's weird. Hopefully more stuff's being recorded soon. But in the meantime, though, while bands aren't really playing shows, me, Josh from Backyard Superheroes, and a handful of other bands around the world, and members of bands from around the world, have all kind of come together, and we're recording just big old super covers of some songs. And so the first one we did was Fat Lip by Sum 41, and I think there was like 30 vocals on that, and then 3 guitars, a bass, and drums.
Oh, I definitely saw that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one was a thing. And then that one got a little bit of traction. Not so much on YouTube, but I think it hit like 30 or I don't know, like 20,000 on YouTube or on Facebook. But then at the beginning of August or so, somewhere around there, beginning of August, we kind of had the idea to do a big cover of Superman by Goldfinger in time for the Tony Hawk release, or the remastered release. So we had like a month to record all our parts and record video and send it all in. And Josh is a mastermind and put all that together, the video. I feel bad. I don't remember the name of the guy who mixed and mastered everything, but like, I do not envy him. There was like 90 plus tracks to all take care of.
And
But
everybody got like 3 seconds of video, like at a time, to like they would add like 3, a couple of words
like
here and there.
Everybody gets a line, and then all the choruses are together. But that one had, I think, like about 30 horns on it. Which was...
I think that one worked out to be like 56 musicians. I think you posted.
I
think I saw you posted something like that.
Hi, what's up?
Plus, you got Tony Hawk on that.
Yeah, Tony Hawk introed the video, and
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
That was very, very cool. He did a kickflip. But yeah, no, I'm convinced that man has never said a swear word in his life. He just seems like the nicest guy. But no, he's cool.
I love the memes. It's just like, what do you think Tony Hawk's up to right now? Tony Hawk's response: this.
Well, you know where that came from, right?
The TSA agent.
Yeah, he has a real life story where they're like, you look like Tony Hawk. I wonder what he's up to nowadays.
This.
Yeah.
Whose skateboard is this? It's mine. Are you any good at it? A little.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're doing that. We got a couple more big ones in the works, some that aren't as big. Hey, I know.
Trust me, she's fine. We can't hear her, but she's a very good dog.
No, I think she may want to go OUT though. So, but she's gonna need to chill for a little bit. But hop up if you want. Go.
Come here, puppy.
But hi. Say
when.
But
yeah,
so some smaller ones going on with like not everything is requiring 30 people on it. But I just recorded my parts for one not too long ago. So that should hopefully be coming out. We're not on like a deadline like we were with Tony Hawk coming out. So I think there's another cool one that's coming up. I'm not going to say what, but I'm pretty sure we're doing one that's going to be all girls, all ladies on it, which is going to be a very cool one.
Please tell me it's Real Girls Eat Cake.
That'd be a cool one. It is not, though.
Did you just bullet? Shoot a bullet, Justin? Jesus, come on now. You have a soundboard.
What?
I don't know. I thought I heard a bullet ricochet, and I thought you were just like, zing, pew!
No.
But yeah, so that's all going pretty cool. I'll throw it over to Johnny because they just released some new music, and it's awesome.
Yep.
Huh?
You, buddy.
Tell me
during
about
Corona. So we finished our record right before coronavirus. We have not recorded any new music since this has started. We put out, we pushed like everyone else in the music industry, all the bands with completed records for spring releases. Everybody pushed to the summer, and then summer became the fall, and then fall is the winter. And still a lot of Friends records for like these large national acts are waiting for next year. we've determined, when I say we, I mean in the music industry, it is a guarantee that if you release your record during this, you're just not gonna have as much traction as you would normally. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. No matter how much content you create, you can have the most content in the world, and without the touring aspect, you're just not able to promote your music. So we were waiting, but we don't want to wait no longer, because no one knows when this is going to be over. No one knows when touring is going to be able to resume fully. We spent a few months, trying to figure it out, but everyone's opinion is different, right? I'm reading I read every day. I read the global news just to stay educated. But you got 2 weeks ago, they're tossing out that we might not be fully normal until 2024. I don't know what that's going to be for music. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, anyway, we can't wait, right? So we're releasing the record at the end of the year. We're putting it out on December 11th. Which it should be great because there's no other records coming out. Not a lot of records come out in December because it's usually a dead month for the music industry. We have another single coming out on October 9th, and then we're going to announce the record like 2 weeks after that. But as far as recording music during this, the band in the beginning, none of us live near each other. We're all kind of scattered in the Northeast. So in the beginning, we didn't link up at all. And then the first time we all hung out was around the 4th of July. Everybody has their pacing with this, with who they're pulling into their bubble, and our bandmates in full didn't all feel comfortable until then. Since then, I've seen everybody a few times, and we all saw each other.
When you guys started to film Fire Sale? Because you guys also just released a music video within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we got together to film that right around that weekend. And we filmed another video for this next song that's coming out as well. And we're meeting up in 2 weeks to film 2 more music videos together. And it is very likely that we're going to go back to the studio maybe in December to work on some stuff. Well, straight up, we're going to work on some like different versions of current songs. Mm-hmm. We're going to do reimagined versions of songs from each of the EPs and release that as like a final EP before we go and release our first full length. So as far as recording with the Corona, we will be going together in December because all of us have been inside each other's bubble already. So like we've already done that. So yeah, I think recording for us is going to be normal. We're going to just go to where we normally go in Hamilton at the lumberyard and be there for a week and record some stuff. I don't know. Everyone's different with this. You know what I mean? To be completely frank, I just got back I went to Disney and Universal this past week.
Oh, how is that?
And, everybody was, the first day I put a picture up on my Instagram, I got 25 questions, 25 people.
Yeah.
It's safe. I had a vacation. I canceled it. I was supposed to do that. Blah, 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 blah. I'm reading this. It's safer for me. It was more safe there than my supermarket.
Yep. And that's pretty much legit. I can tell you as a giant Disney file, I got to show it, the Marvel fanboy tattoo. Everybody who I know who has gone to Disney or lives in or around Orlando, not so much Tampa with Busch Gardens, but they're all saying that it's safer in one of the parks than it is to go to the local like grocery store.
What do you mean as far as people wearing masks? And
people wearing masks, things being sanitized, people respecting, social boundaries and distance. Yeah.
Yeah. I have not had my temperature taken a single time until I left to go to Florida. Being in Florida, they took my temperature about 25 times. There's no temperature check in New York State.
Yeah.
Massachusetts as well. I've now taken 3 COVID tests, came back negative 3 times, but the nature of the industry that I'm in, I get one like every 2 to 3 weeks now, just because I don't feel safe anymore. And I went to Alabama at the right after 4th of July and just said, I got to just make sure.
Yep.
Or do you have a
Disney
new fetish of having things stuck up your nose, John?
I mean, we haven't gotten
Might
to
be
that
a little
trio
bit of
yet.
both. Wait, I
Sorry.
thought you said you didn't want to do sex.
I didn't. We aren't. We're gonna stay family friendly because this way Colin can listen to us at work.
Family
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just fuck.
Sorry to interrupt there, John. It's just
No.
yeah.
It's all good.
I was just wondering because I was just watching a news video of Disney just laid off 28,000 people from their parks.
Sure did.
And I personally was thinking like, oh, if you go into Disney, that would be a disaster. I've been to Disney in Florida and California, and the only experiences I've ever had was standing in line with people coughing all over you, no matter what.
We did a Disney trio,
hours.
and I was the only one who liked Disney.
Yeah.
Everybody else just shit on it.
But the
Justin.
I like
way that you're
Universal.
describing it.
No.
John,
No,
I like
let me
Universal.
We're
correct
not
you.
getting back into Disney. Okay, we're not getting back
shit
into
on
this
Disney.
discussion.
No. I need to correct this douchebag. We did not shit on Disney. We shat on the fact that most people don't want to spend the money to go there unless they have a family or something like that. Most of us are not spending the money to go to the theme park unless there's a reason to do so. That was our disagreement. It was not about Disney. We did not shit on Disney. You douchebag.
I'm sorry.
There's a new ringtone, by the way. You saying you
guests that
douchebag.
we have to. It's a strong point between us. and Disney.
I like turtles.
But getting back to, I'm sorry I interrupted you, John. I was the way you're picturing Disney is like the way I want to experience Disney is with like people not around me that much and like people like staying safe and like completely like that sounds better. What was there ride times and everything for Disney too? At Disney?
So this is what I said when I left after the last day.
Yeah.
I would rather wear a mask and deal with Disney the way it is now than how it normally is. So
hands down agree.
There was wait longer than 45 minutes.
Oh,
45 minutes. There was
nice.
nothing longer than that. And a lot of stuff was 20 minutes. Yet they've fully integrated you having to order your food on the mobile app so you don't have to go wait in the line there. And you can order it and then show up in a half an hour and it's done. That you read today or whenever that they laid off all these people, I think it's like every business, they figured out they don't need all these workers and they're probably not going to need all those workers to come back ever again.
Yeah.
The sad thing too is, like I mentioned Busch Gardens, I had a friend who's a makeup artist out there. She was one that was laid off maybe about 2 to 3 weeks ago. But the saddest one in terms of Disney that I just saw was that Yeehaw Bob, who is at, I think it's the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, just got informed that he's done as well, and the show's not gonna come back.
That's the thing. Like, there's no shows, there's no parades, there's no fireworks, there's nothing that makes anyone gather in a large group.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So that is a definite difference. You're used to that kind of like, the parade, so everyone's got to get out of the way and stand and wait. The fireworks. Do people want that back? Yes. Do I want that back? Yes. Is it time for it to come back? No. Can't have it right now. When those things come back, then there will be some jobs again. But man, I'm not telling people like get your ass there and go, but I am saying like if you had plans to go, like it's like if you had anxiety, I hope that this maybe makes you less anxious. The park hours are reduced. Some of the Animal Kingdom was open 10 to 5. 10 to 5 is like no time.
That's pretty standard for them. Like they used to close by like 6. They were never in a night park, but I'm on the My Disney Experience app right now and checking things out. The longest wait time is Peter Pan's Flight, which is at 80 minutes, and the next longest are.
I don't have the nerd. God damn it! I wish I put the nerd one in here.
John, I did not know that you were a Disney person.
I'm a huge Disney person. But the next two longest are the Buzz Lightyear ride at 60 minutes for a wait time, and Space Mountain at 55. So I mean that's pretty standard for the most part.
The thing is, none of them actually are that length. Every ride I went on, first of all, there's no more Fast Pass. That's gone. There is no Fast Pass.
Fine, because Fast Pass is what drives the times up anyway.
I think they've also realized that they don't need to bring Fast Pass back ever again. That's what some friends of mine who work there have said, and I think that would be better for everybody. But yeah, a 60-minute standby time, you get on the line, it's like 35 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's not actually, because the line is so spread out because they have all the markers. They have 6-foot markers, and sometimes even further. Around certain corners, it's like 12 feet. One of them was like 20 feet. So there's all this empty space in these lines. The only thing I'll tell you is because of that, any of the interactive lines that they have, they're not using them right now. Like the Haunted Mansion, you get in the elevator and you go up, you see the walls come down. You just walk right through it now. They don't have that. They're not running that because that involves people being enclosed in a small section. So it's just
I'll be right back, guys.
Constant flow of people.
Wait, John, I found it. I queued it up.
No.
Do you want me to say something nerdy to let you use it, or should
can
you
we,
just?
Can we?
What?
Say something.
Okay.
I really love this Captain America tattoo that I have over here. Oh man, it'd be a shame if I got interrupted.
No. Well,
thank you. You're welcome.
All of the things that you're describing are all of the things that I hate about theme parks in general. Like I have a really intense phobia around like large groups of people close to me and like touching things that large amounts of people have touched recently. Like that freaked me out before all of this. And like, so whenever I would be in a theme park, all I could think of was like, oh, somebody like puked or wiped their nose and then touched that railing that I'm now leaning on. And I feel like that would, kind of the way that things are in this like dystopian Disney that you're describing is like, it sounds bad. Disney-topian.
Oh, I love it.
You watch people with rags with like the whatever antibacterial spray, just constantly wiping the handrails, the trash cans. They're just at all times. There's people just wiping them down. And there are hand sanitizer stations literally every 15 feet. You walk barely anywhere that there might have been something you might have touched by accident, then there's a hand sanitizer station right there.
Yeah.
Universal straight up dumping hand sanitizer on people's hands when you come on the rides. You have to get it. You have to get it on your hand.
I love that. I'm all for that. If people are gonna,
I agree.
Love that.
I agree.
If you look back at the history of Disney parks and the history of the Imagineers and everything like that, it's not really shocking that they can really quickly and really well come up with something to do this. Because like if you look back at the history of Disney parks, it happens over and over and over and over again that there was an impossible task that was put out and then the Imagineers just went, okay, we could do this and this and this, and it would work. And that's all stuff that even behind the scenes stuff that anyone that goes to the park can see it, but you don't realize that that was something that somebody thought was going to be impossible to do, but is now completely and totally possible because somebody just went, no, I can think of something to do that. But I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of it being this way before, because it totally makes sense to me the way you're describing Disney now, because the parks would be like that. The parks would be like, okay, so we can't do this and this and this. Let's move all this around. And I could totally see in the future, like you were talking about, like how some of those employees won't be coming back because they're kind of replacing. I completely and totally. I mean, I'm shocked that there's so many people still working at Disney, to be quite
Right.
honest, because and I think it's happening in a lot of restaurants, and it's happening in a lot of companies all throughout the world, that some companies are just going, wait, we don't actually need human labor anymore. Or, wait, we don't actually need people in a big
Yep.
office building doing
Well, that's
something
the
all day long.
so many stories of people who are like I have a friend who works for Facebook, and he's like, they're not even going to bring us back into the office until maybe 2021, 2020.
Google. Yeah, Google's not bringing any employees back into their office until July of 2021.
They don't
already
like
made a statement.
where the world is. I love this, and I'm gonna not try not to get on a soapbox, but I love the fact that like people are actually realizing that they don't have to fucking kill themselves, or the companies don't have to kill their employees to like get their job done. They can do things from home.
I wish my CEO knew that, but my CEO does not. So
I mean, it's part of why I love the company that I work for so much, because you know they're actively like, hey, this is a kind of a shitty situation. Let's go through all this, but let's bring this back to music. Because
Okay, I got the perfect question for music. I've been meaning to ask it.
we have to move to the next section soon. So let's.
All right, last question. So John Riv. So Riv has a vendetta against my weird bands.
I was actually about to bring something like this up, so I'm very glad.
I like a lot of Japanese bands. I like Mongolian bands.
Also,
I like
wait, time out.
bunch of foreign bands.
I need to defend myself real quickly.
Okay.
I don't have a vendetta against the bands that you like. There's just a lot of mainstream bands that I think are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I was gonna tell this story, but please continue, and we'll go into that in a few.
So I was wondering if you guys have any bands that you listen to. You were talking about the Attic, and actually, I think I've seen a logo of the Attic before, somewhere, like in the background of maybe a BBC show or something like that. I saw them. It's weird, but I think I've seen the logo for the Attic. Do you guys have any really weird bands that you like that is hard to explain to people why you love them so much?
It's not. I mean, I don't care who you are. Baby metal is better than your band.
Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Take that, John.
Listen, I have nothing against them, because even Rob Zombie came out, and you know, because somebody was bitching, he's like, "Well, I paid to see Rob Zombie. What the fuck are these little girls doing?" And Rob Zombie's like, "These little girls have more talent at 12 years old than you will have until the day you die. Like, get fucked."
No,
like,
they crush it. Like, I don't like the game Just Dance, but if DDR ever came back, it could be all baby metal songs, and I would play that shit every day and be in the best shape of my life.
I think one of my favorite concert videos that I've ever seen is Road to Resistance. The concert footage of that.
The crowds in Japan go harder than any I've ever seen. Like,
you should. So
nuts.
A buddy of mine, I shouldn't say buddy, but an acquaintance of a buddy of mine, literally wrote his thesis on punk music in France.
Nice.
And actually, Ryan, you were there for that show. It was the comedy show that Sean did in New Haven.
Yeah.
And it was the other comic that was with him. And he was saying that like at punk shows in France, they do that French thing where like, hello, and they like kiss each other on the cheek real quick, and then they just like beat the fuck out of one another.
Well, if you like Japanese metal, have you ever listened to Maximum the Hormone?
Absolutely.
Their concerts also look insane, especially the more underground concert footage that I've seen of them like going, okay, everybody put on a motorcycle helmet and just start.
The helmets.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What about you, Johnny?
Foreign bands?
Any band whatsoever that, you know,
hard to explain to people, like that you've had to like maybe take a minute and be like, okay, this is why they're awesome, when most people would not give them a second chance.
This band like makes hard rock songs about things that happen in history. Oh, that must be Sabaton.
Yeah.
Like,
actually, real quick, back to Maximum the Hormone. I was trying to tell and it was hard to describe them. So I was trying to tell my boss at one of my old jobs. I used to work at Guitar Center, like the call center. So
Yeah.
I would handle all the pissed off people from around the country.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But I was like trying to tell my boss about this cool, like heavy Japanese, like metal band or hardcore band. And I couldn't think of the name because it's an odd name. And I was like, oh, whatever. Here, I'll just Google it real quick. And without thinking and without skipping a beat, I type in Japanese hardcore, enter on my work computer, and just and well, actually, I didn't Google it. That's how I found out that Bing automatically pixelates everything for you when it comes up. So
Thanks, Bing.
thanks, Bing. You're good for something.
I mean, making a flight sim game is one thing, but
Yeah.
so how about it, Johnny? What's a band that you love that's hard to explain to somebody?
I think I'm stumped there. I don't.
I mean, I think some people might think Weird Al is a weird thing, but I think almost everybody that
You
I've
know
met
who he
that
is,
has
though.
a soul
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have to
Weird Al.
explain. As far as
I mean,
explaining,
we're also extremely weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've already threw the alley up, which is literally any ska band ever.
What
I
is
agree.
ska?
I agree. I have to explain that one to more people more often than anything else.
True.
They're like, usually because they think it's bad. They're like, this is bad. I don't know why you like this. It's crap.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds awful lot like at least 3 of the people on this Zoom call right now, dicks.
Well,
I don't know what
thanks.
you're talking. I just fuck with you, but I love ska. I have a lot of it on my playlist. Are you kidding me?
to hear
So-
the word a lot makes me nervous because a lot of it is bad, in my opinion. I think a lot of the bands are not good, but there are
most
some.
of it is stuff that I've heard from video games, especially like Tony Hawk, and then a lot of it is
Those are all good. Those.
Well, I have a bunch of Real Big Fish on my playlist, on my my main playlist too. So
Real Big Fish is fine.
And not, I mean,
not,
and
not
I
my favorite band, but they put on an amazing show, and they're never gonna die. Aaron
nice
Barrett will do
dudes.
that
and
until
then there's 2 songs from Streetlight Manifesto that I like. I think
that's a clearly incredibly talented band, but
Yes.
that's almost beyond. You know, like Thomas is the singer songwriter is next level. He hates when people call him ska. He hates
Right.
it.
yeah, he's a pop punk band with horns.
He hates. Yeah,
was-
he's
Okay.
the rock guy. I'm rock
Yeah.
music,
I
folk
saw
music.
my favorite thing is seeing their Wikipedia page change the genre like to thrash Americana or something. Like,
Sounds right.
yeah.
Thrash Americana sounds more like what he wants it to be.
Yeah. It's not wrong. But yeah. I mean, they're so good. Like that horn section. Everyone in that band is incredible at what they do.
I think the weird one for me is I actually don't listen to that much. It's crazy. Though music is my whole life, I don't really listen to. I don't use Spotify. I don't use Apple Music or anything. Not in like a I'm better than you thing. I just am old and shitty, and I never got
You're not
into
that
it.
old though.
How old are you?
I'm 34, but I just didn't
For
get it.
3
You're
months.
2 years older than I am.
Yeah,
Straight up,
that's
like-
not bad.
Guys, I turn 30 next week, so
Oh, shut up, you youngin.
I'm over the hill.
I was just one of those people that was like, yeah, I still have the CD in the car.
I do have
And
CDs
then
in the car.
I
had an
wish.
iPod.
I went out and bought a Daft Punk record so I could listen to it in the car.
Do you still
Right.
have the big CD thing? The big like 4 wide?
No, come on now. I've
have-
I've at least graduated a little bit, but
I have 4 of them. They're
Yeah.
sitting in my closet.
Oh, nice.
I recently was like, I need to get rid of all these CD cases. These are worth nothing. And I was like, but some of the CDs I want to keep. So I actually bought those during quarantine. That was something that I did. I moved CDs into those booklet binders.
Oh.
But mostly all I listen to now are soundtracks because I actually love film probably just a little bit more than I do music.
Ooh, can you throw some of your faves out?
The faves as far as soundtracks go.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Is Jurassic Park in your
definitely.
top? I feel like it is.
I'm not gonna say it's in my top. It's a legendary soundtrack, but like what I've been listening to, I finally got the Lost soundtrack. It's like a 3 LP live.
Oh, do you like Lost?
Oh, I'm
Does
Fuck.
he like
Oh
Lost?
my god,
I'm-
I am a Lost slut.
okay.
I am a lost slut. Doo-doo-doo.
No,
Rum, little lost slut.
God, you just
All I can think of is a prostitute. They can't find her pimp.
Justin,
Just wandering down the road. I'm a lost slut.
Justin, you have to clip that. Definitely have to clip that.
Listen, my hands got sweaty because I'm so excited. I love Lost.
That is what happens whenever any lost person finds another lost person. I'm also feeling that.
Now you're two
Yeah,
found
actually-
people.
One of the things I did during quarantine, I've probably watched through it like 10 times, but I watched through with my mother for her first time,
Oh shit.
and what
Gross.
a fulfilling experience that was.
Have you
Watching
seen?
her reactions.
Yeah. Have you watched Chronologically Lost?
I have not done that yet. Someone sent it to me though. Have you done that?
What I did during quarantine, I finally did Chronologically Lost, and it fucked me up in different ways.
Yeah, okay. See, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, so Chronologically Lost is someone took all of Lost. So Lost has a lot of like flashbacks, flash forwards, and shit like that. So someone took every single Lost episode and put it chronologically from the very beginning to the very end. And you can watch the series that way. And like people who sit at home and are like, oh, Lost. Yeah, they love that shit. So I'm one of those people. Oh, hell yeah. I love that. The Dharma Initiative. Hell yeah. Oh man, I'm like amped up. I'm ready to go.
You got to check
I got
out
a
his
custom
band.
blanket made.
Oh man.
I will definitely be sending her some
Okay, we
music
can talk about this
tonight.
for hours, but we'll have to do that.
Yeah, isn't there a band that completely is all about Lost? There's a band that does.
I mean, probably. There's a
don't know.
band that's just Ned Flanders. So
I was literally just thinking of that. What the hell is it? It's like the
it's
diddly.
called Oakley Dokley.
Oakley
Oakley
Dokley,
Dokley,
that's it.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my, okay.
so-
well,
But yeah,
Just thought-
Johnny's band actually has a song called "Live Together, Die Alone." You need to listen to
Yeah.
it.
oh fuck. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
our second EP is called Walkabout after the episode 4 of Lost.
Goodness. John Locke. I almost had a John Locke tattoo. That's the only Lost tattoo I had an appointment booked, and then 2 days later it got shut down from quarantine.
Oh no, that's gonna have to still happen.
I want Don't Tell Me What I Can't Do. I really want that on my body somewhere at some point. So, well,
I think we
Okay.
found a trio, guys, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
shit.
I'll have to actually watch some Lost before I was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna freak the heck out if you do that.
So, just to give the hat trick for this trio of talking about D&D in every single episode, Ryan and I used to play on a Wednesday night campaign, and we were talking about music, and this just to bring it back to Ryan's thing, we're talking about music that I don't like, music in general that I think is overplayed, overrated, etc. And Bohemian Rhapsody is one of those songs. I understand the technical aspects and all that, but the amount that it's played on the radio with, I know you're giving me the face too. It's fine.
How dare
With the amount
The
that it's
glasses
played,
came off.
everything, like I don't like Sweet Caroline either, but hey, everybody fucking loves it.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
we're
our-
about to fight.
But our DM, listen, oh what a night. But our DM would just be like, Ryan, Riv like ska, and just continued the game, and that's
Yes.
that's
That just-
where this basically came from.
I understand.
You know, it's not that I don't like these bands. It's just that I don't want to hear "We Will Rock You" immediately into "We Are the Champions" because I think there's a better use of that 4 or 5 minutes on the radio.
How dare you talk about Freddie that way?
I'm not talking about Freddie
Okay.
that way. I'm talking about an entire band that way.
Should we move on to the next the
Yes.
last section, John?
Let's hit that last segment. Hit that sound bite for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is recommendation time.
Okay.
Where did Travis come from?
I
Who's
thought
this
I just saw
asshole?
him. I thought I just saw him behind you. I'm not sure though.
He's actually
I need to get a cutout of Travis and put it behind me. That would be the best
he's playing
thing.
on his video game team tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, he is,
well,
yes.
good for
Yeah.
him. Anyway, so for you guys, what we do at the end of all of our episodes is we go around and we recommend a thing or two that either we're listening to, watching, doing, enjoying of any type. So I'm gonna start with two really awesome ones. One, first, the band Keep Flying, which is the band that Johnny is in. If you want to hear songs about loss and understanding and bargaining and the 5 stages of grief, you'll hit it. Second, I'm going to recommend another two. One, the NPCs. My boy Collin is over there, as well as The Day After. If you want just some awesome Midwest pop punk, you've got nothing to lose. And then just a quick little aside, some buddies from a little bit further south of him, The Weekend Classic. I hope they're doing well. I got to reach out to them.
I don't think they're still around, actually.
I should have said, I hope those guys are collectively doing okay with whatever they're doing.
I think they're all doing the SoundCloud rappy thing, but
I mean, I know one of them just had a kid, but I don't remember which
what?
one.
I didn't even know that.
I
but-
think he also got married just recently. So
Well, congrats.
I know, right? You know,
I didn't-
Facebook's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm pretty sure the last tour that I was on was like the last tour that they did.
No, because they came in and stayed with me another time after that.
That's right. Okay, yep.
And that's when I
hit me
met.
up.
That's I think when I met Dan Amaro from he's from Detroit. I can't think of his band right now, and I'm blanking on it. But realistically, the last real thing I want to recommend is a song that I cannot find anywhere. John, if you want to send it to me, it'd be great. But it's called Plane Ride to Borneo. And it is the absolute perfect song for when you're just pissed off at somebody. Because if you had your way, you'd put him on a plane, ride to Borneo, and never see them again. So that was an old We Are the Union song from easily, I think, 2009 or so is when I first heard it. So
Need me to send that to you? I can send that.
yeah, if you could send it to me, that'd be wonderful. I would love you for it.
Why, they don't have that online, I'm assuming.
It's not on Spotify anywhere, unless I'm just blanking on the actual name of it.
No, I think they just don't have some things up there.
Yeah, because I know I also reached out to Jeremy at Scott 2 Network to kind of be on the show tonight too, just to see what would happen. So yeah. Anyway, let's let me look at my computer again. Let's go, Johnny. What do you want to recommend to our viewers and listeners this week?
The Boys, the television program on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen that, I recommend that.
Facts.
HBO's
Kitty.
Lovecraft Country.
Nice.
It's real good. Also, HBO's Raised by Wolves. I'm caught up now. Oh my goodness. Ridley Scott. Oh, it rocks.
Oh, I didn't even
Also,
know it
all of these
started.
Huh?
I didn't even know it started. So it's good?
Oh, the finale is Thursday.
Oh, shit. I'm going to have to catch up.
Very awesome, and all of those have incredible soundtracks, not just like the songs that they're using, but like score wise. So I've been completely enthralled in that, and I just started Amazon Prime's Utopia, which it's great so far.
Yeah.
Those are my recommendation. Music, I haven't, like, my friends put out some records. I haven't listened to the records yet.
That's cool. No, we recommend anything. I recommended you guys just because I like free promotion. I mean, last week, Justin recommended the game Among Us.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah, I say those shows are awesome, and we're getting into Halloween time, so I guess I recommend everybody watches John Carpenter's The Thing and Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. You can watch the first one if you want, but the second one is the better of the two.
It is
Might as
my
well
God.
also watch Ghosts of
This-
Mars while we're at it.
This John is definitely better than our John.
Man, fuck you. Speaking of people who are better than me, let's go to Collin.
False, but all right. I've been listening to a lot of MXPX lately, like old and new, but their newest record I am absolutely loving. I think it's just self-titled. I don't know song names. I just kind of like throw it on and let it go. But yeah, the newest MXPX record has been awesome, and they've thrown up a couple covers. They did their own version of Franco and American by NoFX, and that's a really fun version that they did. Robert Kirkman, the guy that wrote The Walking Dead, he's putting out a new comic called Firestarter, and I am absolutely in love with it. If the guys who made Avatar: The Last Airbender were to get their hands on it, they would make a phenomenal show. I really hope something comes out of it. Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous on Netflix is one of the most adorable and fun things I've ever watched. I love it.
Is
It's
that
so much
the
fun.
animated one or the Lego
Yeah.
one? Okay.
There's a Lego one?
There's a Lego everything these days.
True. I liked it, Johnny. But dude, I'm just here for the lore, man.
I'm just here for the roar.
For the lore.
And I'm here for the roar.
Okay.
Oh,
Rawr.
But
Means I love you and dinosaur.
Jesus. And I recommend Keep Flying as well. I have been listening to you guys a lot as well. I recommend wearing a mask. I'll leave it at that.
and I recommend getting registered to vote.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
I think the debate's happening right now.
It is, yeah, well, that's it is as we speak.
Who's playing? Or not playing? I don't know how politics work.
Trump
Yeah, the
and
debate is
Biden are
happening
going
right
back
now.
and forth fighting about stuff.
It's
Old
it's-
senile.
It's
All I
Dallas
can
and
think of
Tampa
now
Bay,
is-
right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, all I can think
I'll
of
just
now
watch the
is-
weekend update tomorrow and figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll find
Oh,
out in
I'm
November.
watching the whole thing as soon as we're done.
I'll find out in November.
Yeah.
Justin.
Recommendations.
Yeah.
I was actually one of the things I was thinking of was recommending Camp Cretaceous because it was pretty good. I watched it, but one of the recommendation I'm going to make this week is these actually just came in. They're from Hori, but it is you can't see that with my camera, but it's Switch controllers that
It's
connects
because you have a
to-
cool background as
Yeah,
opposed
no, I
to
know.
just a normie one like we got.
Yeah, well, I figured, I should have our like logo and shit up.
That's fair. I probably should too, but then you can't see my Adventure Zone novels.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nerd
Okay,
button.
so now can you see it?
Yep,
Yes.
totally can.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're like super comfy. They just came out. They worked with Nintendo to make them, so
Wow.
they're all like, they're really comfortable to use, and I like them a lot. So I bought them for myself for my birthday, and it took a while to come in because they just got released and they were on back order. So
That's like almost as wide as the original Xbox controller.
well, I thought I actually I don't know. I know Ryan has the Switch, but when you get the Switch, it comes with the little controller that you can put the Joy-Cons into to make a controller. And I didn't. So these are powered by the Switch. I didn't realize that they didn't have their own battery. So I literally took my Nintendo my 3-prong screwdriver and I took that apart so I could put this onto that, and then it didn't work because these aren't powered by themselves. So
Oh.
I felt like an idiot. I got all the way through it and I was like, oh, never mind. So, but yeah, no, it's really comfortable. The company's name is Hori, Hori. They're on Amazon. So yeah, that's my recommendation.
Sweet.
All right. Let's go to the top corner. There, the other top corner, Mr. Ryan.
Okay, so I am just gonna do 2 bands. seeing as we are doing music trio, and I don't think I even did last week. But two bands that I think need even more recognition and following. Brass Against is kind of a cover band, but it's covering mostly a lot of Tool and a lot of Rise. Against the Machine, Rage Against the Machine.
Rage.
And they do a bunch of other covers, but that's mostly what they do. And supreme music quality. It's a full brass section. And basically some of the covers are even better than the original, especially some of the Tool ones. I highly recommend, if you want to get into Brass Against, to go start with like The Pot or Killing in the Name Of. Their covers are amazing. And also the other bands that I is probably more popular than I think it is, but I've been listening to it forever, is Death from Above 1979. It's a two-person band. They're kind of weird. They're like harder core punk. I'm not sure. They broke up for a long time and then came back together again. Really fantastic band. Death from Above 1979.
Neat.
Yeah.
So, Miss Valerie.
Okay, I've got two. I've got a movie and then an actual thing.
And also Lost, because Lost.
And well, yeah, watch Lost. Watch Lost. Literally, it changed
What can you watch Lost on nowadays?
my life and the way I view life and the way I view other people.
It's on Netflix,
For serious. So I just watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's a Charlie Kaufman movie. So he's the dude who did Being John Malkovich and Adaptation and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I think it's on Netflix. I think I watched it on Netflix. I don't know. Yeah, Netflix. But it's a really fucking weird movie about this girl visiting her partner's parents for the first time, and things get wacky because that's how Kaufman does things. And so I really liked it. So I suggest that. And then I've been getting into, during quarantine, I put some use to my tarot deck. And so I started learning like basic tarot card spreads and stuff. And so I bought a book about it. And so if there's anybody who like has a deck of tarot cards and like has no idea what they're doing, like me, I got this book and it's called The Ultimate Guide to Tarot Card Readings.
I have that in the house.
It's a really awesome book, and it's like super, the way that it's up is kind of like textbooky, so you can like reference each card. And it's really gotten me to like practice a little bit every day, and now I kind of feel like I have a little bit of a grasp on it. And it's just like what I've been doing during quarantine because I live alone, and I guess I'm talking to the spirits because they don't have roommates. But yeah, so that movie kicks ass and that book kicks ass. And Lost.
Neat.
Nice.
Well,
you go watch Lost on Hulu and Amazon Prime.
hey, now we know, and knowing is half the battle. You know what the other half is?
Liking
violence.
Oh.
So, Steve, what is your recommendation for this week?
My recommendation is going to be a combination of a couple of things, but it's all going to be in one thing.
Ooh.
So it's a video on YouTube. It is done by Dennis Leary.
Is it the asshole song? Because it should be the asshole song.
The song is the asshole song, but you're looking for the Halo version of it.
Oh God!
Because it's like red versus blue. That's partly in it as well. Plus Halo things, and the video is just amazing, just because of how the video was done. Because it seemed like the guy in Halo was singing the song, and it was fucking amazing.
The head bobbing and everything like that.
No, it was first person. I'm singing it plus cut scenes, so I'm singing it. It was. You have to watch it to actually like appreciate the beauty of it.
You'll have to put it into the chat or something at some point.
If I ever learn how to use this damn thing. but if I'm able to, I will. But it's Dennis Leary, I'm an asshole, and then you look for the one with a halo. Fucking amazing.
I want to go ahead and thank our guest this evening before Justin gets to do the final outro. Once again, John, Collin, it's absolutely great to have you guys on. I'm so happy I got to see you guys again with everything going on right now. I can't wait, Johnny, for the new album. I know things are difficult in the camp right now with, just the life events that have happened in the past, but please give everybody the best. Tell them I miss them and can't wait to be at a show again. It literally feels like yesterday that y'all were playing that show up in Boston. I got to come out and, hang out with you guys. Collin, same to you. I know the last time I saw you was you weren't touring with the Day After or the NPCs at all, but I genuinely can't wait till the day I get to hug you in person again and throw food at you and just make sure that you're fed and that you have a delicious orange soda ready to go.
For sure.
So,
thank you very much.
As that comes to a close, Justin, go ahead and do your shtick for the people at home.
Okay.
Perform, monkey, perform.
Thank you for listening or watching us. If you want to listen to us again or catch up on any of our other episodes, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube, and a handful of other podcast platforms. If you can't find us on your favorite podcast platform, please let us know so I can work on getting us there. Our tag you can use to find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and more is 3EP Podcast. That's 3EP Podcast. Our website is 3eppodcast.com. Our email is 3episodepodcast@gmail.com. That's with the 3 spelled out. We live stream our episodes almost every Tuesday around 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, so follow us here. Please give us a like and most definitely comment so we know what you think about what we were doing, and let us know if you have any questions or suggestions or anything you want to tell us. If they're listening to us on SoundCloud or YouTube or any of our platforms, what do they do, Steve?
Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. What? I got distracted because I started thinking. That's a bad
God.
thing.
Yes, I thought I smelled something burning from there. Please also remember to check out our network at giveusashot.network, where you can find our sister podcast as well as our t-shirts and other merch. Everyone want to say some parting words before we end?
Bye. Thank you so much for listening or watching.
Hey, I'm off the hook next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Ah!
Okay.
I really got to
Bye,
pee.
everyone.
Let's go.